Hey, we made it. Oh my goodness gracious. A couple of technical difficulties.
We
Well,
made it with only negative 7 minutes to spare.
we have negative margin. The people at work will love that. Alan will love that. Negative margin. Yeah. Um, difficulties. Alan will be on if he's not already. The things I was describing to him today at like 2 o'clock. We experienced. So thank you for thank you for being here. I am drinking wine, and it's in a a Coke cup, but just a little red wine.
How classy.
So, folks, episode 27 is it's a two-part thing. The first part is a tribute to a dear gentleman that we worked with on our floor there at OSB 2, Mr. Kim Shepard. Um, we had done an episode where it was the I think it was the Poison Motley Crue episode back in like the first of the year time frame or February or something. Um, and we told Kim stories. He wrote them down for me, and so he passed away 2 weeks ago. It was I think it was a week ago Monday. A week ago from Monday, he passed away, and dear guy, and a big just a music nut and lover, probably more so than I am, And so we have, I have his original notes that we're going to read. This is what he wrote to say. I invited him when that occurred. That was coming up, that episode, and I said, Kim, would you come on live and talk talk your stories? And he said, man, I'd rather not, but I'll write them down and you and Will can tell them. And that's what we did on that episode. But we're gonna repeat that tonight in his original notes. It's really amazing. So it's a two-part. This is the introduction to the podcast, episode 27. A little tribute to Kim Shepard, and then it's the feature band is a band called Darwin. Brand, it's new to me, and we'll go into that. And it's extensive and it's fun, and then there's a lot, just amazing. But yeah, so. You want to say anything about Mr. Kimster?
I
Here's
worked with Kim.
yeah, RPU.
I worked with Kim, and he
Mm.
was a freaking stand-up guy, dude. Like, he was super cool. At work, he wouldn't really stray too much from the work topics, but when we got him talking about music, yeah. But like because you couldn't tell just from the exterior that he was like a big music guy, but then we got him talking a little bit. We told him about the podcast, and he was like, "Oh man, like
Yeah,
I play guitar. I have a background in the music industry with like having connections and stuff." And he told us some pretty cool things. So I
yeah.
thought, I mean, you don't meet many people, I feel, in your life like that.
Mm.
Phil does seem to attract these people. I don't know, Phil, like no matter where he is, you'll find a drummer, a bassist, and a singer. But um,
Yeah,
I definitely don't. But like, yeah, Kim. I mean, he is a cool man, and yeah, he told us some cool stuff. And I think we briefly had mentioned, I think last episode that we had a coworker that passed away, but
yeah,
we decided, he kind
yeah.
of deserved a little bit more of a segment here just because he told us some cool stuff, and I'm sure we've talked a little bit about him in the past, but like I think when he wrote that stuff down for us. But
Yeah, yeah.
there might be a couple things that we haven't said, like how you met, how you found out that Kim was big into music. You never told that story on here.
And I'm going to here shortly. Yes, how this it came to be, and it really was all about CC DeVille from Poison, the lead guitarist. But I'll tell that. Yeah. So Kim, my goodness, um, his so it turns out he had this rich musical past, and in the times where you really had to pin him down and like, hey, please tell me about this. What did you see? What did you do? And it wasn't until today that I got the clear picture from Mr. Alan Lloyd that he was certainly, because I said, Alan, he was in bands, and he goes, oh yeah. He said he showed us a picture back from, they were like 20, or I don't know what the age was, and there's Kim, you know, out of high school, with long hair, and the band all had long hair. And Kim, so it turns out Kim was my age. I'm 63, and he was 63, so we're the same age. So I totally relate to the time frame. And long hair was it, man. The late 70s. If you were like joining a band, or you were just a freaking head, they used to call them heads. Will, you might not know this. Your dad would. Um, Back then, if you were a head, you were like, it was a follow-on word for hippies, for like, I'm into rock music and I'm growing my hair out. You're a head.
My dad was ahead.
Your dad was a head, man, big time. Jeez. And so anyway, tribute to Kim. And then so the format of the show, there'll be people joining that don't know the format of the show. There's an introduction, which we're in right now, and then we were easing into the little midsection the midsection, and that part's going to be kind of consumed by Kim's tribute. And then there's a feature, and the feature is a band called Darwin, and we're going to talk about them. So anyway, so back to Kim's stuff. Yeah. Alan shared that. Oh yeah, he was in bands, and I knew he would, but because Kim's stories were so cool, about the bigger things later and the stuff he saw. Um, I never even asked him, like, were you in bands?
Right.
And I knew the answer was yes, but we didn't talk about it. So found out today. Thanks to Mr. Alan Lloyd. I know Alan's listening, and Alan, thanks for doing the communication to some of his folks, and I hope they're on. Um, uh, Will, if you wouldn't mind checking the comments out. I got the small screen on. I actually can see them too, but I'll pull those up. But if you wouldn't mind,
Yeah, we got a couple comments here.
thanks for doing this. Yeah, I see it. It's people. Thanks for doing this. You're welcome. And yeah, um, a dear coworker and music friend. Yeah, yeah, cool.
So
Jim Norby's on. Jim's on. Here's the Jim. And wow, that's so cool.
the one thing we know about Kim for certain was that he was a guitarist,
Mm,
because not only did he show us and tell us, but his
mm.
profile picture at work had him holding a legendary 12 string. The freaking 12 string, man.
The Jimmy Page, the EDS 1275, I think is the model number. It's the Jimmy Page red double neck. It's a double neck SG. It's a double neck Gibson. It's red, and that's the one he played throughout the Zeppelin career. And Kim had a when they started reissuing them and remaking them, Kim bought one, and I said, Kim, I got. So this is a super fun story. Probably twice at least. I said this would have come to light talking about his guitars, I'll say intimately about his guitars. Um, it would have been in the fall, like probably October, November, if I'm guessing, 6 months ago. And I said, Kim, I really want to come over and see your guitars, and especially that one. And he was like, yeah, he was fine with it, but we just never put that together. But boy, yeah, the Jimmy Page. Will, you're savvy with. Could you like just uh, Google or Wiki the 1275 double neck,
Yeah.
or just or you could do Jimmy Page's double neck, and it'll come up in images, and maybe share one so everybody knows what we're talking about. Very important instrument, and I know it meant a lot to Kim. And there's a Jimmy Page story involved with this. It's like unreal, man. It's unreal. Yeah, but the backstory behind that little situation that Kim told me about. Um, so they started remaking these guitars.
You can pull my screen in.
Oh, cool, cool. Guitar manufacturers will do that. They'll old famous ones. They'll stop making for a period of time, and then they realize, oh, holy shit! All the guitarists in America want one of these, and so they yeah, there it is. Let me blow that up. Yeah, yeah, that's it. Yeah, so it's so what's very interesting about this 1275, and his is red. He told me, I haven't seen it, but what's interesting about this guitar, it's a 12 string on top and a 6 string on the bottom. And Jimmy Page wasn't the only person that played these professionally. Mick Box from Uriah Heep, and there were others that played these guitars.
And the most famous, Kim
and,
Shepard.
and the most famous, with alongside of Mr. Jimmy Page, was Mr. Kim Shepard. So it's a 12 on top and a 6 on the bottom. Jimmy Page, every time he played Stairway to Heaven, he would use this guitar, because the whole beginning of the song, the first almost half, is done on the 12 with the light, all the strumming is what the 12 string. And then when it comes, and then on down the road, the lead, he drops down the 6 string and he just kills the lead. So that was the purpose of these things, was to be able to kill a rhythm. And a 12 string always sounds very full, and Jimmy certainly sounded just incredible. And then you drop down to the 6 for leads, and you can pop back up to the 12 depending on what you're doing. Yeah, cool. Wow. So anyway, Kim has one of these, and I would love to see it someday.
And he has a story connected with it that we know.
Yeah.
I can let you take the lead on that one.
I know, but I'm talking too much. You can.
You tend to do that.
Yeah, I do. Go ahead, but and I'll just add. Remember, I added a little bit. Go ahead. Yeah, in Los Angeles, remixing. I'll set it up. Jimmy Page was remixing songs for the little box set that came out called How the West Was Won. It's a Led Zeppelin package called How the West Was Won. I certainly got it when it came out, and the songs, it wasn't no new material. It was all just stuff they had done in the past, but they remastered a lot of the original songs for this package. So Jimmy Page is in a studio in Los Angeles with a sound engineer that Kim knew. And Jimmy, and I end up telling the story. I'm sorry, Will.
Oh, go tell.
Okay.
Tell.
Yeah. So Kim told me this story twice. And so Jimmy Page is sitting next to a recording engineer in a studio in Los Angeles. Approximately 2004, I think that package came out. You have to look it up, but it's approximately early 2000s. And the guy, the sound engineer that knew Kim's family and knew Kim, he had a video clip on his phone, And he said, between like downtime or something, he said, Jimmy, I know this guy in Florida that bought a remake of the Double Neck. And Jimmy Page says, I would like to see that. And they're sitting there, that two of them, and there's more people in there than two of them, but those are the only two that Kim talked about. And Jimmy Page said, I would like to see that. I would like to see that, in his English proper voice, right? Jimmy Page. And the guy said, sure. So he pulls it up and shows Jimmy the video of Kim playing his remake of the 1275. Ah, God, story. That's so cool. But anyway, talk, please. Oh my
Well,
God.
I mean, it's like you think about Jimmy Page, right? One of the most famous, successful guitarists of the 70s and the 80s, right? And
History, yeah.
I'm sure Kim watched hundreds of videos of Jimmy Page playing the guitar. I'm sure he never imagined Jimmy Page would be sitting there go, "Hey, I want to see this guy Kim Shepard playing the guitar."
Wow.
You know?
Yeah, that's a neat twist on it, man. Super cool
So
twist.
Jimmy, Kim Shepard was his Jimmy Page.
Wow. Oh, now, Will, you're getting existential and kind of like, man in the mirror thing. Man in the mirror thing. Wow. Epic. Epic. It's kind of true. And really, Jimmy, um, his main point was, I want to see it to what it looks like, these remakes, that they cranked back up in whatever time period this was. I want to see it big time, and then I would love to hear it played, and Kim's playing it, whatever he was playing.
So crazy. I mean, he might have been hitting a little bit of a
Whatever he played.
Zeppelin riff on it, That would have been the cherry on top.
It's quite possible, because when Kim recorded that, he didn't have the idea that Jimmy Page would be watching the video eventually.
Right.
He could have been doing a Zepp thing, likely, or whatever his other. I do want to say, now that the screen's bigger, I know everybody, and especially Kim's people, that the H is missing after the P. I set this thing up, and we were behind about 4 or 5 minutes, so I missed it's Shepherd with the H after the P. So forgive me for that. So yeah. That was Will and I's favorite story, but boy, he's got these others, and I probably should just go right into them. It's the top. It's all three actually, but and I told Alan today. So hey, let's shout out. I know Jim Norby's on, Alan's on. Shout out to Kim's family and whoever from there is listening. Thank you for tuning in and letting us do this. He certainly would want it. But yeah, so thanks for everybody tuning in, whoever they're out there. Can you see, like, in the comments, can you tell anybody else? I don't know if Mitch is on from Seattle.
No, not right now.
A lot of unknown names, which is Kim's family people. Yeah, unknown. Yeah, you got it.
So Phil, one of the stories here, this will kind of be like a good transition. So Phil and our old boss used to chop it up a lot, because our old boss loved listening to 101.1, which
Yeah.
is like the classic rock radio here in Brevard.
In his office.
And his office always had the music playing kind of low. He didn't want people to know that he was a silent rocker.
Yeah.
Although you take one look at Jim, you can kind of figure that out. But he tried to hide it for some reason. So there was one time where there was a Poison song playing on in the background, and Phil and Jim had gotten talking to Poison and CC Phil.
This is how I met Kim.
And Kim walks by and he's like, CC DeVille.
Yeah.
He's one of my favorite guitarists. And on top of that, I've met the guy. So
That's how it happened. It was like a year and a half ago. Yeah. Yeah. With Jim. Yeah. In the hallway.
and it's one thing to be like, oh yeah, CC DeVille, he's my favorite guitarist. Like, oh wow, what do you love about him? Well, I shook his hand, I had a beer with him.
I hung out.
It's like, oh, well, fuck, you're cooler than me. You know?
Yeah. And so I was in disbelief. We kept walking, and then Jim kept going, and he's a manager, so I had to go back to his office, and I talked to Kim in the hallway there, somewhere near the elevators, and I was like, "Tell me about this," and he started to tell it, and I go, "Oh my god!" And then we talked about it. That was the introduction. And all I realized from the introduction was I heard just enough to know that I've got to talk to this guy big time, big fucking time, big time. And I did, and months later and over time later, and then he shared these stories. So yeah, CC DeVille was the catch that he heard, and he was like, oh yeah, and then. So I ended up talking to Kim, of course, and so I'm gonna. So these were the notes. So here's how it went. Around that time we were doing that episode, I wanted Kim to come on live and tell the stories. We will interview people, or in that just tell us this major thing you saw. And I asked him. I think it was February, and I said, will you come on and share these stories? And he said, I'd rather not. He said, but I'll write them down and you and Will can tell the story.
He did say, and it's like, if you think about it, Phil, if you really think about it, you're kind of stupid for saying that, right? Because it's like Kim is like, that's like asking Ozzy Osbourne if he wants to be on our podcast. And it's like, I don't have time for you guys. But I can give you a couple things, and you can go ahead and say them. But you know,
oh goodness, yeah. So anyway, these are the stories, and what's interesting is it may just be in chronologically descending order, because it's 2011 at the top, and then it's 2000 in the middle. And then the last one, Tampa, Florida, has no date whatsoever.
He probably couldn't remember the date. He was like, this story's a special one, and I only remember half of it. So
it's possible. Mm. So I'll just put pieces together from what I recall, and people in his life know more detail. So if I get something wrong, I apologize. But from what I gathered talking to him about this stuff, he had he was from, tell me, it's right here. I got it. Indiana. He's from Indiana. Here. He was born in Shelbyville, Indiana. He was born in Shelbyville, Indiana.
Yes, he was.
Yeah. And he's 63 years old, my exact age, 63. He had two children, beloved father of Ariana and Jonathan Shepard, a devoted son of Franklin Shepard and the late Janice Shepard, and cherished his brother, Tamara Atwood. He was engaged to Hang Duong, and also held close bonds with his brother-in-law, Travis Atwood, niece Morgan Schwering, and nephew Anthony Atwood, and great niece Avery Shringring. Shringring, it looks like to me. Anyway, that was from his notes on the obituary. This was this was his obituary, and this is Kim and his, and this obviously was a few years ago in memory of Kim Shepard. Wow. And it turns out I have a note on the right side there about Darwin because I was listening in the car and I literally grabbed the first piece of paper I could find driving and I wrote that down.
And Kim would have wanted it that way, you know.
He would.
If it's a music note, it can
Yeah.
go on the page.
Yeah. So anyway, loving tribute to that guy. But so I'll read these things. I'm just going to read them verbatim.
Read them verbatim.
And you can just, and I'm not going to, oh yeah, he told me about when he was sitting across from CC DeVille and they were eating, you know, in the hospitality and they were eating. I'll just read it. That'd be best. And then you guys can think about it.
It's words from the man himself.
So these are his original writing, and if his wife wants the original, you're welcome to have them. I've made copies, so if you would like to have the original, you may. He wrote this stuff. It was like February-ish. It was definitely 2020, early 2020s.
Early this year, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. 2011. Motley Crue and Poison 30th and 25th anniversary tour. So it sounds to me, probably one of them was the 30th and the other one was the 25th. So it was a combined Motley Crue and Poison tour celebrating their 25th and 30th anniversaries. This is great. Cincinnati Riverbend Music Center. This is where that was the first sentence, like going, this is where we were. And then the second sentence, met CC DeVille backstage in the catering area and sat across from him at the table. Period. Real funny guy. And when we were talking in the hallway, he said, man, he was fucking hysterical. He was like, he didn't use the F word, but he said, man, he was really hysterical. And then sat across from him at the table at the catering area. Real funny guy. But this last sentence of this really just kicks your butt. And he did share a little more detail about this, but I'll just read the sentence. Personal guitar lesson from Mick Mars
That's right.
of Motley Crue.
I forgot that was part of that little story.
Personal
Yes.
guitar lesson from Mick Mars. It was daylight, and everybody they were half sober. You know the band, right? We all know Motley Crue, and he said it was still daylight. And Mick Mars, they were hanging in that area, and Mick Mars said, "Go get your guitar, man," because Kim would have all access passes. I have to explain that, but he would have all access passes, and he'd bring a guitar in his car, and Mick Mars said, "Go get your guitar," and proceeded, I think, on the bus to give him some guitar lessons.
Super cool, man.
That alone is just priceless. It's just priceless. Okay, that was the first one. The second one is in 2000. We're going back here to the millennia, year 2000. It was the Power to the People tour in 2000. But check the lineup out. I look at that, and Joe Gretzky he'll go, "Oh my God, I wish I would have seen that." And of course, I don't think he was there. But it was 2000 Power to the People tour. Poison, Cinderella, Dokken, and Slayer.
Pretty heavy.
Oh my God.
Pretty heavy lineup.
Amazing. And then this is the one that got John Bendig read this. I showed him this, and John Bendig read this one, and at the end he just started laughing, and I half knew what it was. So in 2000, Power to the People, Poison, Cinderella, Dokken, and Slayer at the Hard Rock Live in Orlando, all access pass period. All access pass period. So I'll have to set this up a little bit. I'll read the sentence, but he told me a little bit about this. Because it was this big anniversary tour for these guys. Because it was a big tour for these guys, the band, so Poison. So Poison would have been on CC and the band. They would bring the road crew out at the end of the show for like the last song. They bring like the roadies, road guys that are all, the sound engineer, whoever's helping them big time. They'd bring them out on stage and just as a homage, and they would like bust into the last song. And Kim and his friend are side stage because they have all access, and they're like watch. They would typically anybody in that wouldn't in that. I've never done that with a band that heavy duty, but you just watch from the side stage, and it's a ton of fun. Jesus. But he's seeing these guys. I saw local people and shit. But so Kim, daring as he was in 2000, he decides to walk out with the roadies, the crew, the crew that was putting on the production. He decided, I'm going to walk out there with them, like on the edge, like, hey, they're all out there. I'm going to join them. And he's probably on the side. I'm guessing on the left. Could have been on the right. And so here was his sentence. Went out on stage with Poison and the road crew on the last song and played air guitar.
So he snuck up with the road crew and got his little moment of fame.
And just and CC, I'm sure, was going off, and he was probably mimicking it. Oh my goodness gracious! I can't imagine, but it's such a great story. It's such a great story. It really is. Cool. That's such a great story. But I think that was one of his favorite. Well, actually, those two. 2011 with hanging with Motley Crue and Poison and getting the guitar lesson from Mick Mars, and then this one I just read where he went out on stage. And so Will, when we talked in the hallway the first time that we were talking about this, CC DeVille, that's what he described. He said, I was, we were side stage and the crew went out and I went out there with them and I was on stage with them and doing air guitar. And yeah, that was the second one. And then the third one is much more short and terse, if you will. Tampa, Florida, no date given. Tampa, Florida. Poison. So you see, Poison, he was just a huge Poison fan. Oh my God. Who's Bret Michaels? Isn't it Bret Michaels is the lead singer from Poison he wears the cool hat and shit?
Yeah.
Isn't it Bret Michaels, Oh my God. There's other players in that band that when we did the episode, I knew all the names and stuff, and it's over here buried in a pile of episodes, but I do know some of the other players, but this no date, Tampa, Florida, Poison, all access pass, watch the show from the stage.
From the stage.
From the stage, side stage. You always watch from the side because you can't be in front of them or behind them.
Well, who's to say he wasn't behind them? Who's to say he didn't pull a little fast action?
He could have been behind them.
Grab the microphone boom and one of the sound guys, handed CC a shot when nobody was looking,
Yeah, hey, drummer dropped it. He's kind of behind there because it's not lit up from behind them. Drummer drops a drumstick. He's back there like feeding the guy. Here's your stick, dude.
I know you would do it, so he would do it too.
Wow. Touching tribute to Mr. Kim Shepard. Yeah.
Mr.
So
Kim.
glad we could share these stories, and so glad he shared them, because if he didn't do this, we couldn't really share the story.
Right. And to add to Kim Shepard's greatness, not only is he our friend in the music world, but he was also an excellent electrical engineer at NASA. I mean, it's one thing to stand up on stage and talk to CC DeVille, and then he's like,
Good point.
What's your day job, brother? Oh, well, I just launch rockets at
Yeah.
Kennedy Space Center, you know?
Yeah, I'm kind of my day job, but yeah. He was. So I didn't get to work with Kim work wise on projects, because Will came in the group and took over RPU, the remote power unit, whatever it's called. And Kim was the electrical engineer on that project, and Will had taken that over. So you could mention a little bit about that without giving any little top secrets. And I may run to the little restroom thing. You remember that thing? But right, Kim. So yeah, he was on the meetings and stuff.
Oh yeah. I interacted with Kim quite a bit in the months like end of last year, early this year, when because like Phil mentioned, he was on my project, and he was a pretty introverted guy, I would say, for the most part. I'm sure everybody that knows him might well, I would say everybody that knows him might know him a little differently, obviously, than we did, just being at work and all. But I feel like the more I got to know Kim, he started to the cracks started to shine through a little bit, and we had about 2 or 3 meetings where it was like me and the electrical guys. We were trying to work something out, and he's there. He's cracking jokes, and he was just like, we're talking about maybe something's running behind schedule or whatever, and he's like I said, he's just there cracking jokes, making a little light of the situation, kind of like brightening the mood a little bit, and it was nice, to sometimes it gets a little tense and stressful, but he always seemed to be the one to, initiate like, oh, well, at least we're not those other guys or something, and get a little chuckle out of all of us. So he definitely, if he warmed up to you, he definitely had a little bit of personality to shine through.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
but
Wow.
he was. I enjoyed talking to him. Really, I did. He would come to the cube sometimes to like we would talk like a work problem.
You did.
He would
Yeah.
come to the cube to talk a work problem, but then sometimes it would just spawn into like another conversation. And I know a couple of times when he stopped by, he talked to you probably about some sort of guitar slash musical endeavor. But
Like, my hair looks like crap, but I'm sorry. What are you gonna do? Anyway.
well, he ain't a spring chicken, Thomas. So
Right. Being 63, but wow, it was super cool. Yeah, at work. So you got to work on it, which was really neat. My guy has always been Alan Lloyd, since Pedro Vasquez, and Alan's on, and he'll start laughing. Pedro, oh my gosh, Pedro
and I'm
Vasquez.
sure I'm sure if Alan was here, he'd have quite a few words to say because they sat right next to each other. So I'm
So
sure he got the brute of Kim's excellence in that cube. But
hey, just to kind of cap this off here, um, I was thinking of sending the link to Alan. I would have to send it and pull Alan in a little bit to say a word. I didn't set up ahead of time, so I don't have his email address, which is the normal way we connect. But I could send it text to him, but I don't know how to send it text.
yeah, he probably won't join.
Right. Alan, I would bring you in, but without your email, I couldn't do it, and we'll probably. But Alan just had only wonderful, kind things to say, and we've been talking the last couple of days, leading up to this, and everybody in the group there on the third floor and tell the family. everybody on the third floor there on the electrical side, they were all like plugged in, and they, Alan kind of filled them in on. He went to the service that I'd certainly missed. I think it was in Altamont or something. It was in Orlando, and but Alan was the rep for the floor, as far as I know, and
So,
I'm sure other ones went. Other
so
people.
I see a comment coming in here
Harry.
from one of Kim's friends and family, and I'm gonna read it because I think it's a little good
So
closing farewell for this segment, which is Kimmy would want you and everybody watching to know that above all, what matters the most was his relationship with Jesus,
cool.
and he is now rocking with the one true rock, which is Lord and Savior Jesus.
Wow.
And
Wow.
I can almost guarantee you
Wow.
that Kim's up there. He found the nearest music store and started plucking away on some Les Paul that he's always wanted. You know?
Jimmy Les Paul, the black one.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
So that's a great message, and thank you for sharing that. I think
Wow.
I think he would like to know people to know, and
Who was
that's
that
great.
from? Could you sense who it was from?
Winnie Arnold. Winnie Arnold.
Oh, Winnie sounds like a niece or something. Yeah. Lord only knows. Wow, Winnie. Thanks for joining, and all your people, all of Kim's people. We don't normally get to do this, and look at the number at the top there, but we don't normally get to do this. So typically, what we do on the show during that little after the introduction, the little SOS section, um, I will mention famous musicians that have passed away. Sonny Rollins, for example. So Sonny Rollins, a jazz guy, passed away last week, and that was actually on the notes. Actually, it's not on the notes, but I remember it because it was very important to me. And so we do that. Chris Squire from Yes, like a couple years ago when that happened, um, and they're all getting older, and so we do this on a frequent basis during the little midsection before the feature. And yeah, this one was for Kim.
For
Cool.
Kim. So
Kim Shepard.
I think that was a good little tribute section. Thanks all his friends and family for showing up. Glad we could share with you the other side of Kim, that we got him for 8 hours a day and you guys got the rest of him, and I'm sure you guys also have great stories, and if you guys feel up to your heart's content, you can drop them in the comments here. Everybody can read them. We might shout out a couple. But yeah, we definitely, anybody who's a cool rocker dude like that, we're going to talk about, because that's what this is about. Talking about cool rockers.
Yeah. All righty, Mr. Kim, love you, brother, and still love you. And yeah, fantastic. Again, any of the family members, there's an H missing after the P. I apologize. I couldn't fix it. I tried to go back. It started getting complicated, so I bored it. And
Phil's not very good at reading. He's also not very good at writing, as you could tell when he was reading Kim's note. So you'll have to excuse him for that. But he's excellent at talking, if you haven't figured that out. In fact, he never stops. So
Lord. Anyway, thanks, folks, for checking that part out. But there's other bullets we're going to mention. I actually beg you to hang on and stay on. There's a really good show coming up that's free on Sunday. Mr. Element 7.
Element 7.
Element 7. So we're going to talk about that, but we're going to segue into the little mid brief section, and then it'll be the feature of the band Darwin. So yeah, you're welcome to hang out though, because it's all interesting. Believe me, it's very interesting. There's a band that we're gonna play and a little bit of and talk about that'll change your life if you're really into music.
So I've never listened to Darwin before. I was listening to a little bit of what you sent me today.
Yeah, yeah.
It sounded pretty heavy duty.
Pretty intense, pretty heavy
Pretty
duty.
intense.
Pretty heavy duty. It's very heavy duty.
So do what you do best and
Mm.
tell me about this band.
William, we're not there yet. We're still
What?
in the shoot the shit section. So we're not there yet.
You know, you keep me on my toes.
I'll
Keep me on my toes, and then we're not there yet.
I'll try to. We do got, because I could go on for 40 minutes on this stuff. So we've already talked about the feature band. I've seen this last weekend, I saw Carolyn with the Down Patrol. Well, much to the chagrin, they were on fire at Georgian Dragon, and it was freaking.
Dragon.
It was killer. They were killing it. The crowd was the crowd at Georgian Dragon. Man, if you ever want to play live somewhere, go to Georgian Dragon and play. The crowd just fucking loves it.
That's the outside bar, right? That's the outside bar with the
Yeah.
Okay. I now I got it. Oh,
Yeah.
she played there.
Yeah.
You know what I don't know why I was thinking Dog and Bone. I always think Dog and Bone when I think of Jordan Dragon. Okay, that's a pretty big venue for the sense of like that little outside patio is pretty big.
It's very big, nice, spread out, smoking area on the sidewalk / tables that line the sidewalk. Georgian Dragon is like a great place to see a band. My gosh, it really is great. Carolyn and Down Patrol after the going away of Anastasia and Annalise. I go out and I go.
That's when you went. Yes.
I hear Carolyn's voice. Yeah, and I was drawn like a siren song. Right?
What-
The ocean thing, the nymphs and the oceans and stuff, and they sing those high voices. It was like that. I was like,
Yeah, but usually when that happens out in the ocean, it's like pirates that have been on the water for like months on end and they don't even know their left from their right.
and they're hallucinating.
You just wake up and get like freaking. You just turn to the nearest sound you hear. You know. So I wouldn't compare that because you're just crazy.
Right.
Whereas they became crazy. You just are.
Right.
So.
I want to interrupt the shoot the shit section. Show our shirts because we got 2 fucking cool shirts right now. I'll let Will go first. And I know that
I'm wearing a woman's face. That's my shirt today. It's just a face. That's it. There's nothing else special about it.
No.
It's just no. This is a Pierce the Veil shirt. Pierce the Veil. If you've never heard them, check them out. They are a early 2000s, mid 2000s punk rock band, and I introduced them to Phil. Phil fell in love for the second time. First one was his wife of about to be 26 years. But I got him to fall in love again, which is hard to do in today's day and age.
I fell in love with Pierce the Veil that night. I did the band and Vic. Hey, let's face it. If there's any sort of persuasion ever, Vic would be.
Vic Fuentes, the lead singer, he has quite the vocal cords on him, I will say, and because if you listen to the records and you listen to a video online of his live performances, I mean, he sounds almost identical. And it's
amazing.
20 years ish.
Yeah.
And he still sounds the same. And then when he started, because you think about like when he started, he was probably like 18, 19.
Yeah.
He's now like 38, 39, and he still sounds the same. And there are some parts. There's some parts and live that obviously he can't. He had a really high pitched voice, and he was able to hit these crazy high notes on the record.
Yes.
He doesn't do that too much anymore in his live shows. However, he still finds a way to make it sound really good, even if he drops an octave or just like has a little bit of a lower range. But it's so clear and crisp. It sounds so good.
And crisp, I'm here to tell you. They
So
were so good. So you had Pearson Vale. I won't go on about them. Well, I'll have to do. Eventually, I'm gonna have to do a show about these guys because they're the band that I've been listening to incessantly since Rockville. Open for Dave. They were sandwiched in between Offspring, that headliner on the Friday headline stuff.
at Rockville, Daytona, just to put it in
Rockville,
perspective.
Daytona. It was Offspring. It was billed as Offspring and Foo Fighters. Dave Grohl and the Foo Fighters, which we all want to see both those bands. They sandwiched because of the rain delay for like 2.5 hours. Dave Grohl is a big fan of Turnstile. And he's like, hey, and Offspring, I'm sure, was in on it too, going, hey, Offspring, we'll play first, and then we'll put Turnstile in the middle, and then they'll open for Foo Fighters. And that's what we saw. But anyway, that's my T-shirt.
Yes, they're another like modern age.
Yeah,
I guess I guess
kick ass.
alt rock. I'm not really sure. I don't really listen to them too much,
Ah,
but
I'm still trying to define them. It's new rock.
yeah, I guess like new rock. Yeah,
Into NU new rock. You can lump a lot of this into that. And Will, I had a thing to share about them. It was on the sheet.
do tell, do tell.
It was on the sheet. So at the Grammys this year, everybody knew that their album. I should know the name of it. It'll come to me. But anyway, their latest album that they're
What a
touring on.
fan you are! What a fan! Can't even remember the name of their album. You know, Phil, take the shirt off. Phil, take the shirt off.
Oh my god! Now I gotta look it up. It's on my phone and it's not on the sheet. But
Okay,
anyway,
so album Grammys.
Never Enough. The name of the album is called Never Enough, and everybody at the Grammys knew. I don't watch the Grammys. I didn't watch them live. I had no idea. I didn't know any of this took place until I started like digging into this story. Everybody knew that they were going to get like the alternative rock, heavy rock, alternative rock album of the year. Everybody knew that. What was surprising is then you step back and go, okay, the best rock album of the year. Somebody's going to get the best rock album of the year of all the fucking rock albums, all the rock records that came out, recordings. Turnstile
They
took
won,
the
huh?
best rock album of the year.
I guess I'll give them a listen. They gotta. I guess they're all right. They're like all good enough to give them a listen once or twice. You know.
there's some songs. I'm so I basically get hypnotized listening to the band. I it's like a hypnosis thing. It's this drone and the sound and so I'll tell you, Turnstile is two things. They have a super heavy fast side, skateboard shit in your face. They have a super heavy fast side, but they have this insanely melodic, slow, droning, and Never Enough, that lead song from the title cut from that record. And Mystery, I would suggest checking out Mystery, and seeing stars again, the song Stars Again. I would suggest listen to all of those because it's just unbelievable. And so I'm not in the fast, heavy, crazy skateboarding shit. Obviously, when you see the lead singer on stage and look at the drummer, those son of a bitches skateboarded. I would bet I would bet $200. I don't know that for a fact, but I would bet, without a doubt. Now these guys are in their 40s, and they or the lead singer, they're approaching 40 years old, and they're really breaking out into their own. And my gosh, I'll tell you this in the crowd, whoever's listening or the people that listen, go check out, on YouTube Turnstile on Jimmy Kimmel. Just go check that out. That's all you got to do. YouTube, Jimmy Kimmel, Turnstile. You'll get a great sampling of that band.
I'm gonna interrupt you real quickly.
Yeah.
And this is a little off topic, but it's fun. Because that's what we do, right? We just go off topic. We never even get to the main section, and then we call it a night.
Next week.
Right. We said the name Darwin in the episode, so it's about Darwin.
Yeah.
And that's it. No, but no, I'm gonna interrupt you real quickly because I would have left this to the end, but I kind of just want to get out now since we're kind of talking about Turnstile and Pierce and whatever. So we never really went over our Rockville experience.
No.
Because we were supposed to have an episode where you did the interview with Marshall. I couldn't make it. Then last episode we had Bud Thomas, who is super cool, by the way. That was a super cool, fun, awesome, interesting episode.
Last episode, my brother, yes.
But I want you to clean slate for next week. Whatever you have written, fucking crumple it up in the trash can, light it on fire, because I'm gonna get Anthony next week to get on the podcast, and we're gonna go over our Rockville experiences. That's what we're doing next week. So for anybody listening and is excited for that, we're gonna have a guest on, and the guest who was part of the event, and we'll even invite Mark on here.
Oh my gosh, yes, Mark, our boss. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna guess he would likely do it. Reluctantly, he has to think about it. He's quite soft.
I think Mark would be on for like 10 minutes and then be like, guys, I got some bowling to do and some tequila to drink, so I'm gonna let you guys go.
Will, tequila. Can somebody come over here and bring me a shot of tequila?
No. Sorry to break your dreams.
Yeah, it's not gonna happen. I'm sorry.
You really thought about that, man. I'm sorry. You know what? I kind of feel bad for bringing it up now because you look like a sad puppy. You really did.
Well, suffice it to say, I'm going to go there. So it turns out tonight the wife gets together with their girlfriends from high school and junior high days, actually, in high school. And so periodically. So tonight was that night. So I can have the door wide open. I can talk freely and blah. So this is really neat. So,
but you do that anyways.
Bottom line, I want a shot of tequila.
You do that anyways, though. So what's the difference?
Where's Joey? Could he
I only have one thing to say about that.
What is that?
Fuck that guy. Joey, we love you. Phil more than me, but somebody does here at least. I'm gonna bring this up because I read it on the sheet, and I think you should talk about it I'm also aware, and I think it's cool, and I kind of want to go.
Get back.
We have a friend, and I'm gonna plug him for free. He's not even paying me. I mean, this guy isn't paying me either, but this other guy's not even paying me, and it's who's gonna start paying me? We'll find out in the next episode. But Pete Guitar Martin, look him up on YouTube. He's a great guitarist. Pete Guitar Martin. Free plug. Yeah. He's going to be hosting a concert. He is a teacher for music students. He's going to be hosting a concert with his students here soon. And Phil sent us some information about him rehearsing with them. So Phil, tell me, because we didn't get to talk about it. We've been busy, slammed at work. We're NASA's busiest engineers. So Phil, I want you to tell me. I wanted you to tell me about these experience that you had this past weekend doing that.
we're definitely the busiest SEs right now, and I think Braden's got a little bit of that too. But we're up there at the top right now. There's no doubt. Um, um, Guitar Pete Martin, my dear friend for a long time. Um, he has taught music in Brevard County for as long as I've known him, and he has a real cool group of students right now. And he's basically created kind of like a school of rock kind of concept where he's going to do a concert, or not, I wouldn't call it a concert, but he's going to do a show and featuring all his students at his house in Cocoa, Florida. And he has, turns out, so Will, the surprising part is that where it's actually going to take place is in his backyard. But
Yeah.
um, 2.5 years ago, 2 years ago, this July, it was actually 3 years ago, I think. But he built this giant freaking stage out of wood, giant fucking stage, 5 feet off the ground. It's like 12 feet by 10. It's this big ass fucking stage made of wood. And he did that for this band he started back then. And I was a little part of that project. Well, he kept it all. They broke it down, put it in his backyard. Well, he set it up again. So it's set up in his backyard.
Very cool.
And that's where it's gonna take place. And it's the families and the moms and dads and the families of these students, and they're not all kids. I played with two adults. Memorial Day Mondays when I rehearsed my two songs. So Pete asked me, he said, "Can you do two songs?" And I said, "Pete, I'd love to." So that's where I was Monday, Memorial Day. It was this blissful day, no care in the world, got to sleep in. Pete's thing is at like 11 o'clock at noon, basically at noon. And so I went over, and so I'm playing. You'll like this. I might have showed you, but maybe not. I'm playing two songs. I'm playing "Under the Bridge" by Chili Peppers
Red
because
Hot.
I'm a good rim shot guy. That's all rim shots, throughout and then yeah, everybody knows that song. And "All My Lovin'" by the Beatles. So Pete knows how to. So Pete knows how to hook me. He mastered that 10 years ago. He goes, all I got to do is like throw out a little Beatles song or some song that I know he likes or some band he's listening to. He's like, hey, let's do this. Would you do this song? And it turns into a project sometimes. But he did this time, and "All My Lovin'" is all it took. And so I'm doing those two songs.
Very cool. Very cool. Very cool. Phil is going to be re-entering his Plan Days. Still
And
picks up the sticks every once in a while, but this is a performance. You're going to be performing, even for friends and family. By the way, let me make that clear. No, none of you are invited. Do not. We're not giving you any details. Don't come. We don't like you. Nah, I'm just kidding. However, this is a little bit more of a private event. It's invite only, and
I'm thinking ultimately
don't
he'll
want to toot my own horn, but I was invited, so
yeah
it makes me a little bit cooler than everybody watching.
Will, if you see this, I'm dying to see the other songs and see these people play. And so I only met like the little group I was with. I'm here to tell you the bass player is this 15-year-old in high school. And his first name is Santana. His first name is Santana.
That's pretty cool.
He was just like, and he says he was a sophomore, and I think he's 15, so sophomore typically 16.
Oh no, that kind of checks out.
And he's yeah, it's close enough. And he's got a sight set on academics as well in the future. But this kid, and Pete said he said he turned around to me at one point, in the middle of the thing, and we were taking a break, and Pete said, "Phil, remember so and so that we like tried to play with for like a year, and it was a struggle." I said, "Yeah," and he goes, and he just pointed to Santana, the kid, and I'm like, "Oh my God, you're right." This kid's like a natural at it. He's playing three instruments in
Oh wow.
orchestra and band. He's totally like absorbed with it. Probably, I assume, will go for a music degree, when he graduates. But anyway, this kid's like a pleasure to play with, and he was getting a big kick out of me because he and I were about 4 feet apart. In Pete's house, you're fucking crammed in there. My God, it's like a sardine can. The house isn't, but where you're playing always is. It's always like cramped. Sucks,
Right.
really. But it sucks. But then I go, hey, once you're into it and you're like jamming and playing like some police, whatever song it is, just warming up, but wouldn't be one of the ones you're playing. You sometimes you warm up with. Oftentimes you'll warm up with a song that isn't the song you're going to be trying to
Yeah. Yeah.
for
Just to
fun.
get you,
And like,
going. Yeah, just to get you going. Just to get you going.
and we all know that we know the song. Anyway,
One more announcement. One more
yeah,
announcement.
we got to move on.
Element
Yeah.
7, Beach Shack, Saturday, Sunday, be there, be square. We will probably, maybe, most likely, one of us be there. Maybe two of us be there. We'll see. I gotta talk to you about that later, Phil. But I might be a little grounded this weekend.
Sure.
Um, I pissed off the parents, and they said I can't leave my room. No, I'm just kidding. No, I gotta take. I'll just say it on here. It's really not a big deal. But I gotta take my car to the shop on Saturday. I gotta do some maintenance on it, so I
Yeah.
might not have it Sunday. And if
Yeah.
that's the case, I'm gonna be a little hard of getting around. But
Gotcha.
I'm.
Well,
It might be
so
done.
so Will, the magic part of this story, there's a magic part of this story, is that they're doing Saturday, and they build it. The Sunday popped up for me because they know I've been going on Sundays and seeing them twice on Sundays. So that's what popped up on Facebook for me. But it turns out they're doing Saturday night from 9 to 1 in the morning at the Beach Shack, and then they play again the next day. So I'd be totally willing to go Saturday instead. But think about it; it could eliminate that schedule issue.
Well, I'm giving my car in the morning on Saturday, so that's another issue. But I might get it back. I might get it back on Saturday because it really. I just need them to do a couple things, and it shouldn't take them that long at all.
Right. You never,
So
you never know. Right. You never know that what their schedule, how busy.
yeah,
I'm thinking. Here's what I'm thinking, and I got to go full screen for this.
I kind of
Um,
like hearing what you think. So go ahead.
Thank you. We got people. Thank you. Thank you, Tammy. Thank you, Tammy. Kim's usually watching. Thank you. If and my friends are watching. Um, Jim might have dropped off too. I would venture to say Jim and Alan are still on because they're like, what the fuck do we got to do tonight? Right? Hang out with the wives and stuff. It's
So
like,
Kim says. Kim says, can't Phil just pick you up? Well, Phil lives 40 minutes away from me, and another factoid is he's not a very good driver. So it might be hard for him to do that. It'd be cool if he did, but he's also on top of it all. On top of him, can't read, can't write, doesn't drive well. He's also kind of a dick. Just the cherry on top. You guys might think me and Phil are these great friends since we co-host this podcast together, but Phil treats me poorly, Phil, I'm painting you a bad light. I'm just kidding. No, that is a possibility. And if anything, Phil, I was thinking about, I don't know how plausible this would maybe be, but I was thinking about maybe doing downtown Melbourne's not that far from me.
Right.
going to downtown Melbourne and maybe
Yeah.
doing something there, and you could just come there. You could come down here, and I could Uber to downtown Melbourne and do something there. But
But you forgot the most important part is Element Sevens in Cocoa Beach.
well, this is the thing. So here's the thing, Phil. Here's the thing. This is where
Then Thomas comes into play.
well, this is the thing.
You forgot the main point.
Phil, we have magic for a reason, right? Nothing's impossible. That's what they teach us at NASA. Phil is gonna get in touch with Element 7. He's gonna say, blow off that gig at the Beach Shack.
Move it to
Move it to downtown Melbourne.
Wow.
That's what's gonna
Josh should be all over it.
So we're gonna pull some strings with the local bands, and we're gonna set up our own concert. Hey, you said Pete's got that stage set up, right?
We'll bring that down. No.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Wow, this is going neat places. That stage ain't leading him in his backyard, believe me. It weighs like 2,000 pounds or close. But
that's nothing.
yeah, you guys with the construction. Oh, we can do that. But very cool. We should move on. Kim's joined. Kim, I have to say, I do can't. But we forgot the main point at the beginning of that little segment there. I was suggesting Joey should come and get you and bring you.
You know what? That's a great idea.
See?
We should use Joey to his fullest potential. I mean, what else is he good for? You know? We should do that. He should be our pack mule for the day. I agree.
Pack mule?
Yeah.
Pack mule? Oh my God.
He should pick both of us up, drive us around wherever we want to go, and then we'll tell him to go fuck off while we hang out, and then pick us up again at the end of the night.
Okay. This has been a lot of fun. So Will, it's a minute 12. We're gonna go into
hour 12.
We're gonna go to the feature.
Let's run through this feature. Let's get through this feature. This Darwin. After the famous Charles Darwin that we all may or may not know because Phil hasn't been in school for a long time, but
I went to school back in the Darwin days.
Back when he was still alive, doing his tests and shit. Father of evolution. So.
That's who I. But anyway, the band is quite different from Charles Darwin. I was going to ask you to would you look up Darwin, the band, how it's spelled, and ask it who is their like record production wise, who is producing the records? Like, is it Sony? I need to know if it's Sony or the big ones. I like who produces their records. You know what company produces their records, because it matters dearly on what I can play.
And Darwin.
I didn't get a chance to look that up.
Simon Phillips.
Oh fuck yeah!
So
Simon, my favorite drummer on the planet, and it's amazing. So I want to play some of this. They're videos from YouTube, but if the music isn't owned by Sony or Universal Music Group or some big conglomerate, or even he's from England, so and he does it say?
Does it say
like who produces their music? Like big company, like who's making money off them?
Well, they produce it themselves. Apparently.
See, so that I can play it. There you go. Thank you. But
and hey, Phil, you might get a kick out of this.
Yeah.
So Phillips and the guitarist and songwriter Darwin, they produce their music. Phillips, celebrated drummer and producer with the career-spanning rock legends such as Jeff Beck, The Who,
Yeah.
Toto, Judas Priest, and Tears for Fears.
Yes. Yeah. All of the above. Simon.
I did not know that.
I'll do a piece on Simon eventually tonight. Yeah, I know him well, and I know all those references big time, especially the Who and Pete Townsend and Beck. So yeah,
Wow.
yeah. So now he's got a recording studio and he produces stuff and he's in this band Darwin. So I think from that description, you know what makes sense, but it'd be impossible for listeners. Like,
Here, I'll put it on the screen here.
yeah, that like the one of the guitarists or something.
Yeah.
So this is Greg Ho, Ho spelled Howe, and that piece. This is Greg Ho. This guy, this guitarist with them, with Simon's project. Simon Phillips playing drums on it, and he produces the whole thing, like in the studio, like as a recording engineer. Produces the whole fucking thing. I've seen this countless times. Guy's fucking unbelievable, and he's done countless, 100+ recordings as far as a producing engineer and a producer, separate from being playing drums on it. But so is this the one? Is this the one like the guitarist?
Yeah, you can pull my screen in here.
Wow, this is gonna be killer. What'd be neat is if they had a feature where you could like hit like a stop button and it would interrupt the broadcast and then start a new one, like without leaving and coming back and all that. And then when you play the music, if it gets blocked, it just blocks that little portion of it versus the whole fucking episode. This is it. Oh my God. So this guy is like, you gotta know for yourself here. Well, it's gonna be so good. This guy.
I'll play a little bit of it just in fear because I don't want this to get taken down. So I'll play about 20 to 25 seconds. Okay?
But the problem is it gets better as he goes. So jump to the middle.
Okay, let's jump to the middle. We'll go like to this close up of the guitar.
This is so fucking cool. This guy is so good.
Oh, sorry. You let me know.
Go ahead. So and I mispronounced his last name. It's Greg Howe, Howe. He's like a beast. Can you put on one of the Simon clips? I think I've sent you a Simon clip. That would have been the last Simon clip I sent you, if I did. And then you get to hear Simon Phillips, and then instantly when you see him play, you realize like, oh wow, I get it. It was Simon doing Haunted Mirrors. Yeah, that's it. This I think we're gonna play. Simon doesn't give a shit, so this will be good. Check it out. This is badass. Favorite drummer on the planet since 1981. Yeah.
Let's play like a little bit of it.
Very high up. He's going. Imitation fabrication breeds. Where ones and zeros plainly lead to variations hibernation weeds. In between the Left-handed ride, go, cool. That was perfect. Hold on, I want to get a screenshot. So fucking cool. I won't be able to. Isn't there like a button that says screenshot? Print screen. Boom. Okay. Got it. That's Simon at his best. Left hand on the ride on his left side. Yeah. Look at that. Yeah. You can just show, you cut show stills. See the K on the hi-hat? See the big K? There's zillion Ks. There's zillion cymbals. They're K cymbals. I have one. It's a 16-inch crash. But he's got, of course, anything he wants. And my gosh. So Will, there's times during these songs with this band where Simon at the beginning of the song, actually, he's playing the hi-hat with his left hand, but he's almost playing it like a ride, and it's just like quarter beats, and he's got them open just enough, and these his best cymbals you could buy is for hi-hats, and he's playing it like a ride cymbal, just like he does with. He has a China, so he has those hi-hats, but one of his main ride cymbals for drummers out there, which there's not many, on his left he has this big 21-inch China cymbal, Zildjian China, and he rides. He half the time Simon Phillips is playing the ride cymbal in songs, he's playing with this 21-inch China cymbal as the ride cymbal. Nobody ever would even think of that. And he does it with quite success over 20 years plus. So anyway, the favorite drummer on the planet, Simon Phillips.
I don't know how true that is. Tell me you've had a lot of famous drummers on this planet.
There have been others. Dave Weckl. But anyway, yeah. Oh, it's super cool. The fact that you can bring that stuff in, well, it's just so neat. So let's keep trucking. We're doing good, really on time, 122, and we're for the most part, I think we've introduced people to Darwin, and I do want to read something about this band.
Yeah, read it.
I do want to read this. It's like, what the fuck do I do on it? Hey, well, am I at work here? Like, I got all this stuff. Like, where do I put it? It's over here.
I think your work environment. I think your work environment is just a manifestation of your actual life. I don't think it's work. I think it's you.
Oh, Becky gave me an earful about it. It is. There's Greg in the band. Well, I do have to share this because it's so funny.
Okay.
So on Wikipedia today at work, I'm like, you can print stuff out, like doesn't interfere, and print a couple sheets out, and they don't care. And it's written in the rules, right, of usage.
As Phil keeps saying, yes.
So I printed the Wikipedia version of Darwin out. It's all in fucking German. Every single word's in German. So I'm like, this is great. That's not going to help me at all. Anyway, bottom line, I'll just gather the backstory. Simon met these guys, knew when the fusion players are playing around the world, kind of their respective countries. A lot of not so much in the U.S. lately, but Europe. They hear about each other and they know who the great players are. So somehow Greg Howe and Darwin, there's a mysterious part about the name Darwin. the guy that does it, that sings, he does play guitar very well. He's not the lead guitarist mostly, but he's, man, holy shit, he's good. I think he's from Germany, but he sings English. All the vocals are done by Darwin, the guy Darwin, and that's the name of the band. Yeah. Any comments? They're going, wow, this fusion shit is confusing. But anyway, oh my gosh. All I can say is check the band out. Darwin, just on YouTube. It's Darwin, spelled like Darwin, Charles Darwin, but just Darwin. Don't, and just check it out. And I would suggest Distorted Mirrors. Distorted Mirror, actually, no S. But man, I was binging it, on the way home a little bit, and then on the back porch, because I had only heard a couple songs, but I knew it was Simon, and I heard this guitarist, and I knew they were great. So I hadn't really listened to a lot of it until today, this afternoon. Man, it is fucking stifling. They'll just shut you down in your fucking tracks. You go,
And
what
so they are.
what the fuck is this?
They're.
Tell me.
Sorry, I'm reading something real quick.
Yeah, concept from Germany, but
So they're a pretty new band. They're a prog rock band and they says they released their first song in 2018.
yeah.
So,
Yeah.
oh, they have an album called Origin of Species.
There you go.
And
Darwin, right?
It is a 17-track album over 80 minutes long. And it talks about social issues in the world. It says album was recorded at the Philips Phantom Recordings in Sherman Oaks, California. An additional recording in various studios, including, Phil, you're gonna like this part. Phil, you're gonna love this.
Yes.
You're gonna love this.
You're gonna love Joey. Joey, you're gonna love this.
Including Abbey Road Studios, London.
Yes. Wow. And no surprise. Because they would, Simon's like, I got to go to Abbey Road and record. So there was an excuse to go record at Abbey Road.
So definitely check that out, Origin of Species, because that seems like it would be something insane.
It would.
I've never heard of an 80-minute long album. I've never heard of that. I've seen albums with 25 tracks on them, and they're like 50 minutes most. 17-track, 80+ minute album is something else. And these guys are serious. I didn't know that Simon Phillips was drummer to all these insane legends. So that adds to their credibility if you didn't already, which I mentioned earlier, but like I said, like Jeff Beck, The Who, Toto. I see here you have Stanley Clarke.
Yes. That was my connection. I have to explain that just a hair.
Yeah, no, explain.
What occurred with Simon and him becoming my favorite drummer? I go see Jeff Beck in '81 for their back tour at Lakeland with the K-Town gang, and we were blown away. And we're like, who's this drummer? Then in '81 I was at UCF. I was at UCF, fledgling sophomore probably, and there was a guy that lived in SAC Apartments, and he was the DJ at the FM radio station, college FM radio station at UCF. And he said, "Hey, yeah, I'm doing the show." And instantly, when he started talking about it, it was all this underground kind of fusion stuff, fusion music. And he said, "Yeah, so I listened to him, of course. And have you ever heard of Stanley Clarke?" And I had not at that moment in time in '81. And the drummer was the drummer I had seen that year with Jeff Beck. The drummer on the Stanley Clarke record was fucking Simon Phillips. So it's School Days. It's an album called School Days, and Stanley and Simon's on School Days, and thus my life changed. I'll just say,
And thus.
thus my life changed. That's all I can say.
Very cool. Very cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
I will check them out. I gotta check them out.
So,
I only listen to what you send me, but
that's okay. There's plenty, and yeah. But really, the best one for me for Simon, the best one is I think it was almost the last one I sent you. The link was him. It's just him playing drums to the song "Distorted Mirror." Just check that out, and you'll go, "Holy shit!" No wonder. That's all you can say.
okay.
Say it's so good. It's insane. So I sent it to Park too. I sent it to Park earlier. I said, Park, you got to hear this. And it's just Simon doing his drum tracks with this great video of him playing to Distorted Mirror, and it's like,
So I wanna say that as the episode has gone on, I've looked back at the sheet and I talking through it and then looking back at the sheet, I have now pieced together what you meant by 75% of what's on this page. I didn't understand any of it before, but then I'm like, oh, we did talk about that and that and that. It was just one was on the left side, one was on the right side, and one was in the middle. But we got to the topics. So
I knew we would. I knew we would. I did have to rewrite it because I'm like, A, that's a pain in the ass, and B, I'm pretty sure I can get through this. But one of the classics is people. Sean Morton was on, and Scott Johnson, and fucking Joe. God forbid, Joe. I do have to. I have a plug for Joe with his Formula One thing on Facebook. But the fun thing is that wine stain on the sheet. It was on the porch like over the weekend. The
so
wine.
any more on Darwin, or are we good to move forward?
I think we're kind of done, but let's play another Darwin thing. Assuming we're not going to get blocked, they wouldn't block the Simon thing, I don't think. So, did we do any of the Simon by himself thing?
We play that little clip, yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Well, I was gonna say that we can move. I wanted to move and say a couple things that are coming up.
Gotcha.
So
Stuff.
yeah, so we talked about that Element 7 is going to be playing here locally, and I mean at this point they should be fucking paying us for all these plugs, but we can talk about that later. Tomorrow night there's going to be a show at the Blind Lion, and forgive me, I don't remember the name of the band, but I do remember some of the covers they're going to cover, such as Linkin Park, Godsmack, uh, I think even no, or not. Oh wait, did they say Green Day too? I think they said
Everything
Green Day.
heavy. Everything heavy. I don't remember Green Day.
Oh, Limp Bizkit.
Limp Bizkit. Yeah. All heavy. All fucking heavy. Tomorrow night at the Blind Lion, Will and I are going to be there. Please join us. You'd have to. The ticket was $11. I'm like, anytime you can see these cover bands do that shit for $11 or $20, oh my god, it's so worth it. It's so fun. I saw a couple in Sanford, not those bands, but different bands. Will, that's gonna be, and I said bring earplugs because I know that little place, and it ain't big, and there's not a lot of depth to it. It's more rectangular, and you're looking at the stage like in a rectangular fashion. It's gonna be in your face. I'm bringing like the foam earplugs from work.
Right. Let's see here. And then I think so. On top of the page, you have mentioned a concert. That concert being Evanescence,
Oh shit.
West Palm Beach.
Yeah.
West Palm Beach. I've been. Oh wait, I don't know if they're playing. Are they playing in the outside amphitheater?
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
I've been there,
I have not.
and I watched Pierce the Veil headline at that amphitheater
Oh my
back
god.
in like 2022.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
Yeah,
I can imagine because it's north of Miami. Right.
yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Wow. I'll be seeing Evanescence. Currently, Will, give me a second. I got to go fetch a shirt and show the people the shirt.
Oh yeah, he has a pretty cool shirt that he bought for their tour, in
Pretty
which they
shirt.
have some open. Oh, Poppy's opening for them. And somebody else, but he's about to show the shirt now. Um, so this is the segment where Phil walks away, and I can say whatever I want. So, oh, he's back.
This
Cut
is,
me short there.
so I've never done this before where I bought a shirt ahead of time for a show. Never done that in my life.
But Phil's a little bit of a fangirl, so
I did it for this, and I am a fangirl of Evanescence. There's no doubt. Amy Lee and Will Hunt, and those two amazing guitarists. And Will, remind me who plays bass for them now?
Emma Enzai.
Emma Enzi from Sick Puppies, and she's in both bands. She still maintains both bands completely.
Which is something we'll talk about next week when we
Yeah.
go over Rockville, because we did see Phil. Phil is going to see
Mm.
a famous performer, because I was going to say he's going to see the same performer in a span of a couple months, but
Mhm.
he does that every fucking weekend. However, this is going to be a little different. So yeah, that's cool. Wait, so who are the openers? Lift the shirt up a little bit.
Well, but okay, Poppy.
Spirit Box and Poppy. Okay, and then you can put it down. Okay, yeah.
So Amy and her gifted presence. The two opening bands. Poppy is a female lead vocalist, and the second band has a female as the leader of the band, and then Amy Lee is the leader of Evanescence. It's very heavy, female and female and
Famale.
Famale. It's very heavy and bless her heart and soul. So yeah, it's
And
Poppy.
I'm sure that's done on purpose too.
It's totally on purpose. Look at Poppy. I mean, she's got her face on the fucking shirt.
I think Poppy was at Rockville this year, right?
They were, and they got rained out. Or we didn't see them, but they got rained out. It was around the chaos time, around 6 o'clock. The rain
Right.
was coming and the lightning was coming.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I
So
think that's an episode, man. I
I,
think that's an episode.
I think at 1 minute and 38, 1 hour and 38 minutes, it's perfect length. Succinct, to the point. Got a lot of stuff covered.
I got a bedtime, right? By the way, I say that every time, whether it's true or not. It's up for speculation. But well, William has to sleep at a time to be functionable the next day. So
Phil needs to establish a bedtime, and
Phil needs to do that.
Becky would agree. Like, can't you pick like midnight as a cutoff, please?
Phil needs to establish a bedtime for sure.
Because sometimes it goes after midnight. It won't tonight, but sometimes it does. Anyway, bless her heart.
But all right, this has been a great episode. It was a little bit heavier due to the first segment, but I think
we did it.
But I think, yeah, I think that segment actually made this one of my like top 3 that we've done, just because we were able to bring some people together and talk about someone that made an impact on us, and I'm sure has impacted many others. So I think that was I think it's cool that we had the platform to do that.
We've never done that before.
We had never done that before.
Yeah.
And it's cool that people, like I said, I don't know if anybody's gonna go back and watch this, and if they get to this point, congratulations, you get nothing. But I just think that it's very
prizes there.
and no consolation prizes. But I just think it's really cool that everybody decided to tune in, and because not only were we able to do this for Kim, but everybody was able to come and support and appreciate it too, which also makes a very big difference. And like I said, we like Phil just mentioned, we've never done this before, and it's almost a little like a bit of a wow factor for me. Like, wow, we just did like a tribute and these people really appreciated it, and like it makes me feel good that we were able to do that, you know. It's like bigger than the podcast is what I'm trying to say. It's like we were able to do something tonight that was pretty awesome. So
It really was. Will, why can't I see the comments? Because it's at the top. Make sure.
there's a tab for them.
Rainey, our buddy Braden joins at 8:51.
Forever.
Might still be on Braden. What the fuck are you? So, folks, this is where we end the show, but we might keep talking, and Braden might be on. So we got to go. What the fuck, Braden? When am I going to go to an EDM show? And when am I going to an EDM show in Orlando in November?
Phil, the answer to that is stick to rock. That's the answer.
It's a big distraction. You don't want that whole EDM baggage.
Yeah, you don't need that in your lifetime. But all right, yeah, no, I'm gonna call it. I'm gonna get ready for tomorrow. I'm going into work tomorrow, so I don't know if you'll be there, but or you'll be teleworking.
So Kim wrote, maybe Phil and Darwin BFFs. Yeah, basically.
Yeah, I don't think so.
But they don't know who I am.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm their BFF, but I'll at some point I'm going to talk to Simon Phillips. I will.
We'll get him on. We'll get him on.
It'll be text. It'll be like text. I'll go, Simon. Fucking loved your shit since '81. It'll be text. He's a very busy guy. He's recording constantly. But anyway, okay. Well, that was a great episode. 21, 27. Kim Shepard and Darwin.
Next week, Rockville recap. Anthony on the show.
Wow.
We're doing it.
Wow. Cool.
All right. Thanks, everybody. We appreciate everybody. Like, subscribe. We said that a little too late. Notification bell.
Yeah.
But it exists in the episode. So.
Cool.
All right, Phil. I'll talk to you.
Okay, we're gonna end the stream. I think it was wonderful. I love it. It's always the 2-button thing that, like, any important when you go on, it's 2 buttons. It's go live, and then there's a button below that says really go live, and then when you end it, there's an end stream. And there's been times where I didn't hit the bottom one that said end stream, which really ends it.
2-step verification, Phil.
It goes on
Operator failure safety.
It goes on for like 8 hours, like just dead silence and black screen. All right.
Go to bed, man.
Cool. Pierce the Veil, rock and roll.